This is Grow Omaha Uncut, where you can watch our radio show, including what goes on in the commercial breaks. And be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Well, good morning and welcome to the show. Jeff Beals here at your service. Glad you have joined us for the only show in the metro area that talks about real estate development, construction, business expansion, really anything related to Omaha metropolitan area becoming more vibrant and more prosperous. We are brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center for metro area locations, along with Cheer Athletics, the nation's #1 all-star cheer gym. And without any further ado, it's time to bring on my co-host, a man who is a legendary real estate deal maker and all-around intriguing fellow, Trenton Magid.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Mr. Beals.
Well, good morning to you. And it's an exciting weekend because, it's always an exciting weekend.
Creighton plays tonight.
That's true. And UNO's been having a great season. Creighton's having a great season.
People should tune in to Grow Omaha Sports to learn more about it. Tell us about that, Jeff.
So we started this a few weeks ago, and Cole Young is our writer, former football player at University of Nebraska at Kearney. And we talk about local sports, and you can find it as a section on the newsletter, and it also has its own section on growomaha.com. And speaking of the newsletter, if you don't receive it in your email box every Thursday afternoon, just go ahead and send a note to news@growomaha.com saying, I want the newsletter, or go on to the website and you can sign up there. And while you're on the website, you will find so many resources and so much information.
And what's the cost of Grow Omaha Sports, Jeff?
Well, Grow Omaha, everything is free.
Oh, that's right. Grow Omaha Media, ladies and gentlemen. Everything is brought to you by our most generous sponsors. Jeff named a few. We got a lot more. And I think that's the greatest selling point is not only is it the content that everybody's been looking for in local business, real estate, development, what's happening, there's no charge.
Well, yeah, because you know that feeling when you are going on to read news on a certain local news website and you're just about ready to go on an article, even though you're already logged in, it makes you log in again. That never happens at growomaha.com because we don't charge
Or people send you a link to some website and everybody wants you to sign up on a monthly or a trial basis. What a pain in the you-know-what. But Grow Omaha, always free, always informative.
Always free, always will be. All right, with that, let's go into our news of the week. We have a lot of it. It's brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. That's the place you want to have front of mind if you're thinking about buying a new house, because they can hook you up with a great mortgage from a variety of different banks. Remember, Eagle Mortgage is a mortgage brokerage firm, not a bank, so they can shop the banks and find the best one for you, get the best deal that fits your unique circumstances. This is the start of spring. I mean, we're in March. It's going to be in the 70s within the next few days, and a lot of people want to go search for houses. One of the first things you want to do is talk to Holly Schneidwind or one of her team members at Eagle Mortgage and get everything set straight, get yourself a pre-approval letter, and you will be in good shape for the house hunting process. eaglemortgagecompany.com. Well, starting off, construction has reached the second floor and higher at Creighton University's future sophomore residence hall. Trenton, this is a 151,000 square foot, 5-level building that is at 21st and Cumming Street. It's immediately east of Creighton School of Dentistry. It'll house 400 students, completion planned for the fall of 2026. What's also interesting about this, though, it's one of 4 construction projects Creighton University has underway or planned right there along Cumming Street. The other one is going to be kind of a maintenance storage building. That's in the early phases. The new varsity softball stadium is coming along nicely. And pretty soon, I believe this summer, if I'm not mistaken, or this fall, they'll start work on the outdoor baseball practice facility.
It'll be interesting to see how their the number of students has it increased. Their what do you call that?
Enrollment?
Yeah,
Student body?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, when I've looked at Creighton's enrollment, it looks like it just kind of steadily rises. I don't get the impression that they're aggressively trying to skyrocket the size of that university, but I get the impression they're trying to keep growing.
I think they've done a good job in their endowments and people leaving them money and they put it to good use, and definitely increasing the amenities for their students as well as Omaha.
They've certainly done a good job with making the campus bigger and more beautiful. I mean, these buildings that Creighton keeps constructing look great. I mean, all of them on the east side have this, nice red brick matching theme, and it's the campus is really, really looking good, and it's coming together. And basically, the university from the west and the builders district from the east keep building and building, and you're just going to see that whole area in the not too distant future filled in with some pretty cool projects that will really create a lot of economic activity in North Downtown. Square Apartments have opened on the southwest corner of 30th and Leavenworth Street in Midtown. This is a 5-level building, 73 apartment units from studio to 2-bedroom, and it's just part of what's becoming a very vibrant area. The Mill Coffee Shop is right there in that area, and there are a bunch of rumors floating around that the Mill might open a second location in the heart of downtown Omaha. They're originally from Lincoln, and but back to that 30th and Leavenworth area, just a lot of construction in that area. There's even another apartment building a block or two to the south that is slated but has not started, so that's becoming a pretty vibrant and walkable area. Visit Omaha, which is the city's Convention and Visitors Bureau, is upgrading the Omaha Visitors Center. This is at 306 South 10th Street, which is basically 10th and Farnham, southwest corner. Updates include accessibility improvements as well as a new entrance, clearer signage, and there will be updated brochures and displays and retail shelves so people can take a souvenir of Omaha home with them.
Nice.
Interior build-out is progressing inside a 12,000 square foot space at Shadow Lake Town Center in Papillion. That will soon be a Barnes & Noble bookstore. Our sponsor, Perkins Kreitzer Construction, is doing the construction work inside. But crews last week were building shelves and store fixtures in there. The actual address is 7949 Town Center Parkway in Papillion. It used to be a Best Buy store.
What's interesting about it's kind of Back to the Future. I was talking to a guy who actually collects VHS tapes, like movies. And like if they're not open, even better. He loves the old school VHS. And I don't know if he's going Betamax or Laserdisc, but it's pretty interesting to think that we're going back to bookstores. So many bookstores closed around the country, and Barnes & Noble out at Oakview has hung on, and now they're doing a second one, and I think that's neat.
Yeah, and the metro area has lost a couple Barnes & Nobles. I mean, there was one at the Crossroads. I believe there was one in Council Bluffs. Of course, there was time we had a couple three Borders bookstores in town, and that whole entire chain is gone. But I don't know. I love going to bookstores. I'm glad to see they're not going away. I want to congratulate another company that's one of our sponsors. Bankers Trust celebrated the grand opening of its first full-service location in Omaha on Wednesday, just this past Wednesday. Nice ribbon cutting with the chamber. But this is a beautiful 2-story building southwest of 192nd and West Dodge Road. Bankers Trust is a big deal in the state of Iowa, and they're becoming a very big deal here in Omaha. A lot of seasoned Omaha banking professionals who Trenton and I are friends with.
Yeah, Sam Mossert does a great job over there.
Yep, she's the Nebraska president. And so we're just really happy for Bankers Trust. It's an outstanding organization making a huge commitment to Omaha and Nebraska, and we also appreciate them being a Grow Omaha sponsor.
And 192nd and Dodge, 10 years ago you would have thought that was the edge of the universe, but it's like it's not that far out anymore.
No, I mean, you think about so many development projects happening in that area, and then, of course, to a mile to the west of that is the 204th Street corridor, which is just bonkers and bananas. There's so much development there.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of retail. That's part of the Nebraska Good Life Transformation Act, one of the Good Life districts and around there, and they're only talking about 225 acres or less or something like that. But in order to do that, you got to have sales tax to make it work, to collect that 2.75% of the state's share. So I haven't heard of any, they've talked about stadiums there. They've talked about some retail and stuff, but no names have really come up.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who they end up landing there. The visibility, the accessibility, and the demographics in the area are well, the demographics are about as good as it gets in the state of Nebraska. So I'm sure you'll end up with some very cool stuff as the time goes along.
People are always talking about, well, we need another Whole Foods or another Trader Joe's
Be a
out
good spot
west.
for one.
It'd be interesting to see, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's finish the news with a couple stories from Bellevue. First of all, we have new car-related businesses that are planned for vacant land just west of Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealership, which is not far from 22nd and West Chandler Road. AutoZone is going to be right on the southeast corner of 22nd and West Chandler Road. And then additionally, a new car dealership will be built south of that store. And that dealership is identified as Lux Automotive. It has a used car dealership and existing location at 61st and L Street in Omaha. And then we've talked a little bit about this lately, but there's a lot brewing with this big Bellevue Bay water project. The city of Bellevue is rezoning land related to that $60 million development project. This is northwest of Highway 75 and Hidden Valley Drive. Hidden Valley Drive is a little offshoot off of Platteview Road. And this is, like I said, going to be known as the Bellevue Bay Water Park. It'll anchor Bellevue's state-approved Good Life District. And according to Bellevue City planning documents, the city will rezone the first of 5 lots of that district to mixed use. The water park will be built as phase 1 of that overall development. Now, phase 2 will include a few new hotels and parking. The hotel brands have not been identified, but at least one of them appears to have direct access to the planned water park via covered walkway or skywalk. We also have dozens of new commercial development plans. Brian Thomas from our office, NAI NP Dodge, is going to be leading the real estate brokerage work for that area. So if you're interested in being in that area, let us know at NP Dodge. One other thing about that, Bellevue has unsuccessfully so far petitioned for approval of a Bellevue Racino. A racino is a racing track casino because the state of Nebraska has already approved the maximum of 5 of these establishments. But I know Bellevue would like to have one, but there are 5: Omaha, Lincoln, Grand Island, Columbus, and South Sioux City. But it sounds like Bellevue still has its eyes on getting one of those eventually.
So it has to have a racetrack in order to have the casino. So it would be a part of Ho-Chunk, or
I don't know, but apparently, that Warhorse thing that we have on Q Street is a racino because they have horse racing there. Like, what do they have? Like 5 minutes of horse racing?
I think they have the same thing in Lincoln, and
Yeah.
I know it's affiliated with the Native American casino. However, they structured the legislation. But I've done the research for the last 20 to 30 years, Jeff, and I can tell you that gambling, while it's fun and entertaining, is pretty much a tax on the stupid.
But wait a minute, you go gambling.
Well, that was just for the research.
Oh, okay. So you're not saying you're stupid.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay. Well, at any rate, that's your news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. Going to take our first break of the hour. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about how you turn some old, vacant, decaying grain elevators into a really cool apartment complex. That and more. Stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Cheer Athletics and Dingman's Collision Center on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Are you going to finish this?
Can you imagine?
We'll see.
Can you imagine what life would be like inside the racino?
Yeah, you should go to the Prairie Life or Prairie Flower.
How many oxygen tanks per capita?
How they do horse race? Is they have to broadcast it, or is it?
No, they have like at that
Warhorse.
at that war horse thing in South Central Omaha.
Yeah.
They've got some horse racing track. They hardly ever run.
They've only built like
It's
half
a
of it.
joke. Yeah, like
They're still building it.
you run a few horse racing things, and you're like, oh, we're a racetrack, and then
And they simulcast other ones.
yeah.
It's Fauner Park and Grand Island still go.
What's
Yeah,
the one
that was
called
like
in Lincoln?
The first new casino to open.
Yeah.
I think Lincoln's also called Warhorse.
Lincoln's Warhorse?
Yeah.
He answered that very, very quickly.
He goes to school there.
You know, I don't think it's gonna be easy, but there's hopefully, Bellevue will be successful with their water park. I mean, it sounds like it's gonna be cool. And, it's Hidden Valley is a great name for it because it's going to be out of sight, out of mind, but they're going to advertise the hell out of it.
And it's supposed to be a 300-mile draw, so I don't know if, as long as it's by a freeway, I don't know if it really matters where it is. It's kind of like, if you look at some of the...
How far off of I-29 is it?
Right on. I mean 75. You mean Highway 75?
No, but you can't see it from Interstate I-29.
Oh, God, no. Yeah, it'd be like 7 miles.
Isn't that far away?
Oh, yeah, that highway 34 that goes from Glenwood to South Bell, I think it's like 7 mile stretch.
What does that park mean for Funplex? Do you think there's toads then, or?
If I were Funplex, I wouldn't be too excited about it.
I would think that would
Because
eat into them.
it's going to be a lot. No offense on Funplex, but it's going to be a lot nicer and a lot newer. Yeah.
It's one lucky laptop.
I mean, it's going to be a hell of a project.
It's got full treatment right now.
It's at 70th and Q, dude.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Come on, let's go to Funplex. The Funplex.
Gonna look good, gonna feel great, price is all right, moments to wait. Calico's at the fashion court.
That has nothing to do with water parks.
Yeah, but I remember the jingles.
Oh. What does that have to do with
I
the
actually
water
do
park?
remember that now. Him seeing it, it rang a bell.
You would be
Funplex.
awfully young, though, because you're
You
only...
I was just a little kid
You
when
can do
those
it if you
commercials
try.
were running.
remember this?
UNCSI.
They ran those commercials all the time on Fox 42 Kids Club.
Oh,
I remember them
really?
well.
They were-
Yeah.
Because what year did Calico's close?
That was Jerry Gorman.
Was it late 80s, mid 80s?
I don't know if Teresa ever
Probably.
read a read for him or anything, but
What's the password?
Oh, for Wi-Fi?
Yeah. I heard yes.
We've been recorded.
You know, this is on Uncut, so
You might have to...
Don't make me bleep
Billy
it
might
out.
just have to show it to him so the people on the camera can't get into... Because like they would bring their laptops here and get into it.
we don't
Excuse
want
me, can I bring my laptop upstairs?
we don't want Scott for he's mad at us.
Yeah, we do not want Voorhees,
Can
man.
we don't have universal, just, what are your passwords? All these, should be like a consortium.
Fingerprints and biometrics are the future.
Sure, come here, Jack.
Thank you.
And the password is password.
Don't tell anyone, but it's password 1. But you'll never guess it because you
Here we
have
go.
to capitalize the P.
You have to capitalize the 1 too.
You got to capitalize the 1.
Exploit.
Could be Roman numeral one.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid broadcasting live from the KFAB Penthouse Studio high above beautiful Underwood Avenue in downtown Dundee. I always like saying that so I can sound like Gary Saddlemeyer. Anyway, we're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics. Cheer Athletics owner Craig Wolf is going to be with us next week, going to be talking about the development of sports and entertainment facilities like Cheer Athletics. So you don't want to miss our show next week. Cheer Athletics, great way for your kid or grandkid, nieces or nephews to get involved in athletics and competitive activity and learn life skills. Just go to CA Omaha. That's CA as in Cheer Athletics, CAOmaha.com. Well, Trenton, you and I are both Omaha natives, and we've been around a long time. And I can remember as a little kid driving on Interstate 80 with my parents, and you'd go around 35th Street, and you'd look up to the north side of the freeway, and there was this hulking, haunting, imposing-looking grain elevator. And I remember a time thinking, I'm kind of embarrassed we have that there because it makes Omaha look like a country place. Now I realize it's a cool relic of our ag industrial past, but there's one problem. It's been utterly vacant for a long time.
Well, do you remember when they widened Interstate 80, how they cut those off?
Yeah.
That's a diamond blade right there. That was a smooth cut.
Just shaved that thing right off. So if you don't know what he's talking about, next time you drive by those elevators at about 35th and I-80, especially if you're westbound in the far right lane, look over and you can see where there was another silo or more that was just shaved off to make room for the expanded freeway. But you might be wondering, why do we bring up these grain elevators that have been vacant so long? They're about ready to be redeveloped. Light Development. I'm not familiar with that company, but they're local. They plan to transform these into an apartment complex. And the Omaha Planning Board this week reviewed it. And basically, here's the thing. They're going to keep some of the silos, but not all of them. They're going to... The silos in the middle, so the grain elevator is a series of long silos, right? So the silos in the middle and the tall head house in the center, those are going to be lopped off. and the foundation of those middle silos will stay. And upon that foundation will be constructed a 144-unit apartment complex building. A couple of those lopped off silo bases will actually be converted into the apartment complex's swimming pool, which is incredibly cool. Now, the entire silos, a few of them on the north end of the property and probably about 8 to 10 of them on the south end of the property will stay and be kind of like conversation
sound
pieces. Well, yeah, maybe sound barrier.
It's a group affiliated, I don't know which partners, but with our friends over at Oak Investments.
Okay, so this thing, like I said, will be 144 units total. It's a 4.88 acre, so call it 5-acre site. And so in addition to the part that the elevator sits on, there's also some open land. This is immediately adjacent to the Field Club bike trail, which will remain undisturbed. And you'll have a few different buildings. There'll be one big building that rests on top of these lopped off, planed off silos, another building with apartments, and then there'll be some townhouses. But this thing's going to have heavy amenities and is going to look really cool. And now there have been some cities where developers have actually literally carved apartments into the grain silos. That does not appear to be the plan here.
Those are tough windows to cut, but I think that you could, and it's been tried before. There was one group, I think, that bought it in the interim from the time it went dormant to now, where they were trying to figure out how to do rock climbing and things like that, because it's a natural structure for that. Whether they want the liability, if they could do outdoors and maybe indoors, just light it up really well. But I could see them trying to do part of that, doing rock climbing in addition to the apartments.
Maybe, because, and that brings up a good point, Trenton, because the few silos on the north and the several silos on the south are going to keep, they have to clean up. I went to the site Sunday afternoon as part of my weekly Grow Omaha driving tour, parked the car, I got out, I walked up and down the trail right next to it, and then I kind of went around the fence line and really looked in there. It is rough. I mean, there is crumbling debris on the ground, so there's going to have to be a lot of cleanup in the area.
They had to lock it down and weld it shut for a while because some kids got in there, or young adults, and decided it was a good idea to climb up it, and one girl really got hurt.
Yeah. So, like you say, because for a while they did that rappelling and rock climbing business in there, but it didn't take or didn't stick. But this is a great example of an urban infill project. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for signs that our economy in Omaha is healthy, that our real estate market is healthy, that our population is growing, here's a sign for you right there, that project. Because if you can justify the cost of tearing down grain silos that essentially can probably stand up to some nuclear bombs, they're built so well, just to get 144 apartments into an urban infill area like that, the central part of your city is healthy, and you can pat yourself on the back because it means your business leaders, your political leaders, your community leaders are really doing a good job of making a healthy city.
It's expensive to tear those things down as well. People always talk about things like Oakview and what's the history of Oakview, and if Crossroads is any indication. Now, Crossroads had a bunch of underground delivery tunnels and things like that, so it's probably more expensive. But it can easily be $5 to $7 million to tear down one of those malls, and so I can see why they try to repurpose what they got.
A couple other quick news items before we break for the national, international news on the half hour. A new neighborhood market is planned for the South 24th Street Business District. It's a corner commercial spot. The address is 4328 South 24th Street. It was the home of the Dross Sturba Insurance Agency. It's a 1,200 square foot space going to be renovated for a business called IXCOY Market.
Okay.
Is that Ixcoy? I don't know. Or maybe it's just IXCOY Market. And finally, Starbucks Coffee has plans for I know, shocking, Starbucks would build a new location, but they have plans for a new location in the Mockingbird Hills area, While Starbucks' more recent locations have been primarily new construction, the coffee chain has plans to convert an old Wells Fargo bank building at 4707 South 96th Street. According to the filed permit for new tenant construction, the company will spend $800,000 to transform the bank into a coffee shop with a drive-thru.
They tore down the one at 96 and L right across from Anderson Convenient Market.
And in fact, I was kind of thinking that's where this one was, but this must be 4707. Must be somewhere different.
We need a Starbucks on every corner.
We need a Starbucks on every. We need a Starbucks on 2 out of every 4 corners per intersection. And with that, we break for the Fox News on the half hour. When we come back, we'll have our Noddle Company's commercial real estate development spotlight and more news to share with you. So stay with us. You're listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
I think the microphone lower too.
I wonder if we have accurate information.
What are you up to, Skidmark?
Just life, school.
What's your pledge name? What was your pledge name?
I didn't have a pledge name.
No way.
Mine was Ferris,
Yeah.
Ferris?
as in Ferris Bueller,
Yeah.
because I did a great imitation of it.
Yeah, we didn't have pledge names.
How do you imitate Ferris Bueller?
I
You
had
skip school a lot, or
the move, because like the way he talked and the facial expressions and all. I had him down.
You're the Sausage King of Nebraska.
Sausage King of Chicago. I just moved here.
Oh, Abe Froman.
You're Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago.
Instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national.
Where are you going to go this
I wonder
weekend?
if I could become the
What's
sausage
up?
king of.
Where you got going this weekend?
Just
Omaha, that's
Maddie's
easy.
birthday stuff, really. There's nothing going on down
Okay, that is that Wells Fargo building. I think we have some wrong information.
Yeah.
Does she like it?
And
Whatever
not
this is.
really.
Can
All right,
even
that's
press it out?
embarrassing.
What?
You can't even press it out.
It's new. It's gotta grow in.
Is it for a charity or just
Yeah, charity. Live Like Lou Foundation.
seriously?
Yeah. No.
Who's Lou?
Yeah, Lou
Big Lou?
Gehrig.
Oh,
Lou Gehrig, ALS Foundation.
Yeah, we may have some wrong
I did
information
work for
there.
them in LA.
You did.
Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis.
It's a good cause.
Did you get a text from?
Yeah.
Huh?
Did you get a text from Gary or
For what?
about wrong info?
No. And Trenton said that he thought they tore down the Wells Fargo building. I thought they did too.
Oh.
And the news we got is that they're going to use the Wells Fargo building, but that building's down.
That's a different address.
No, I put the address in 4700 South 96th Street, and this is what came up. Right there.
Yeah, let me ask Ray.
Okay. Yeah, I thought they tore that building down too.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound.
Did Starbucks tear down the Wells Fargo building at 96th and L Street, or are they repurposing it? Question mark.
They tore it down. I know they
Gave
tore up
you
the
a
parking
shout
lot
out.
at least.
As a reference point, period. I think I'm buying a new Honda in Cali, Columbia today.
So you are now going to own an automobile in another country?
Not under my name.
You're a lucky guy.
To be idiots. I got a Honda.
Yeah, you might not want
Nothing too fancy.
You might not want anyone to see evidence of you owning a vehicle in Colombia.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. Amy might listen to this.
No offense, Amy.
So
I'm just being logical.
So what she'll do is black out the windows. There's also a film that you can't see. So a female driver,
Like,
and it's
safety.
I mean, we don't want to stick out. It's not. I mean, it's new, but it's not like it's a incredibly expensive or fancy car.
Oh, okay,
But it gets around. And,
it'll be brand new.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, we looked at used too, and she did anyway.
Are Hondas still the number one stolen car?
I bet. It's probably got to be Hondas or Toyotas because there's more of them than anything else.
Toyota is really expensive down there. Toyota's a lot more like the Pathfinder stuff. What's the are there two companies that are like combining? Isn't like Honda and another Japanese car maker like combining forces, and then
Was Honda buying Nissan or Mazda
Toyota?
or
Yeah,
something?
it's probably Nissan and Honda. Or something.
Yeah, I heard
Hyundai is
Nissan
South Korean.
wasn't going to be Nissan anymore. But I don't know.
Something about that sounds
So they're going
familiar.
back to
You know,
Datsun.
if only we had
You know what Datsun is?
All the world's knowledge at our
Now it's that.
fingertips.
It was before Nissan. They called it Datsun. And you know how the name came about? It was like they sent an engineer over here. They're like, we got to be up and running in 5 years.
Yes, Honda is buying Nissan apparently.
Datsun?
Sounds more like
Honda's buying Nissan. Or is Nissan going away?
The Honda-Nissan merger could be back in play as rumors swirl Nissan CEO may resign. This was published yesterday by roadtrack.com.
Right now it's 30 in Omaha, Council Bluffs, and 30 in Lincoln. The Grow Omaha show will be back in about 3 minutes. Here on News Radio 1110 KFAB. KFAB News Time is 9:36.
That was not your best effort.
Jeff fucking-
That's not your best effort. That was not your best effort. That wasn't nearly as loud as last week.
Sorry.
There was a slight pause, Bill, but I don't think we noticed.
No, I was listening
Last
for
week
it.
was
That's
like
why.
a crow.
That was me interrupting Bill Dixon's weather report.
Last week, though, he made like a great crow noise. It was way loud.
Yeah. And I didn't sell it one bit either, did I?
You've gotten pretty resilient.
I have. He got me that first time, though.
I'm going to yell like profanities next time.
The first one, I did like that classic cow noise, and Bill starts choking on the air.
Yes.
Then, within the last couple weeks, you did a moose.
He did the antlers and everything, too, if I recall.
I'm going to do whales
Or he
mating.
went full bull eagle or something.
Whales mating.
After joining
Well,
the
Hitler
United
did.
States Army, Thomas Kennedy served 2 tours of duty in Iraq and
Bullwinkle Tea
Afghanistan.
Boosh.
Uh-huh.
Hannah like in college too.
She is, yeah.
Thomas was killed by
kinda
a Taliban
bored.
suicide bomber in
With college?
Yeah, she doesn't like living in the dorm very much.
Too easy.
Yeah.
Next year she'll be in the
Have her come
sorority.
live at the Fury House with you.
She should, yeah.
That'd be good.
Families like the
Smart idea.
You can like share a room. It's
donate
fine.
$11 a month to
Doesn't have to pay rent that way.
at T2T.
Uncle Tony's full of smart ideas.
2T.org.
Ever since I started feeding mayonnaise to the tuna before they were killed.
It's way more efficient.
You okay, Chris?
That was hot coffee.
Hot coffee.
Jeez. I'm trying not to spray the walls, but holding it in hurts.
That hurts, yeah.
Now I got a tongue burn.
I live for moments like that. Sorry.
Yeah, you did pretty much make his
Oh
weekend.
my God.
It's a good thing I did my first visit of Twisted Cork yesterday and not tonight, because
Because you had tuna salad? Or no, you burned your taste
I
buds.
burned my tongue. I get too much of a phone, or do I have to insure?
Keep that insurance
the
on your
gun
taste
club,
buds.
the hat you're wearing? The
Oh, grunt style? Yeah.
Oh,
Free hat.
is that one of those?
Yeah, it's a
that
grunt.
was part of that $1,000 shopping spree. Most of which
It was easier there than at Reebok.
most of which has been long sent to the Goodwill.
15 seconds.
A lot of mine is in Columbia.
Hola.
Watch on iHeartRadio's YouTube channel and listen right here.
God, it's a long break.
Yeah, we need more commercials.
Nebraska high school senior diversity
Na, na, na. Na, na,
Jack
na.
Beals overcame diversity.
at salarmyomaha.org.
And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid sitting with you. Glad you've joined us today. Want to give a big shout out to Cheer Athletics along with Dingman's Collision Center. They are our sponsors. Now, Dingman's has been, that Best of Omaha award winner for auto body repair year after year after year, and that's because they've earned it. They are an outstanding provider of those body services. The Dingman's family owns it and runs it very personally, hands-on leadership, and they are obsessed with customer service and obsessed with good results. Dingman's Collision Center.
I'm going to get a bumper sticker that says Body by Dingman.
We're trying to promote Dingman's.
I'll try.
on
Well,
the
I'll
show.
give you the before picture.
Okay. It's time for our Noddle Company's Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week, brought to you, of course, by Noddle Companies. They are one of the true premier developers in the United States of America, headquartered right here in Omaha. but they do projects nationwide. Just last week, we talked about Nodal Companies doing a very substantial mixed-use project as part of the broader Gretna Landing project, and that's an awesome thing that they're doing. And of course, Nodal Companies is famous for, the Builders District in Exarban Village and many other developments and corporate headquarters. Well, today's Nodal Companies project that we focus on is Exarban Village, the legendary, awesome Exarban Village. And here's the news. Godega Market, a coffee shop and convenience market that is located in the Old Market at 423 South 11th Street. That's 11th and Howard, northeast corner. They have filed a building permit for the remodel of a space at 1917 South 67th Street in Exarban Village. That's in the HDR headquarters building. And this is the space that was previously occupied by the restaurant Zoop, Z-O-U-P. So Godega Market coming to Exarban. We believe they're going to continue to operate their existing location in the Old Market. Have you ever been into that Godega Market?
Actually, I bought a bottle of wine there, I think.
I've been in there too. It's really cool.
What I like about that location is you've got all the students, you've got all the residents, you've got a ton of apartments, and it's an area where it's very walkable. And that's what it takes to have, because it's basically an upscale convenience store without gas, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's a very tasteful, almost kind of like a little, you could call
fresh
it
meats and
like a gourmet convenience store or something. But no, we stopped in there for coffee once when Stephanie and I were downtown, and really, really thought it was a pretty cool place. The backside of it's attached to the Passageway Gallery, or the Passageway, not the gallery. And then, at any rate, so that'll be a great addition to Exarban Village. That's really close to Interrail Food Hall, and that's just such a fun place to hang out. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your Nodal Companies Commercial Real Estate Development Spotlight of the Week. A couple other news items for you today. Hair Care in Beauty, which calls itself HKNB, just opened at Oakview Mall next to Torrid and across from Bath and Body Works. It's a woman-owned salon, caters to the West Omaha market, offering custom wigs, hair weaves, makeup, and beauty supplies.
I'm there.
And speaking of beauty supplies, Bissau, it's spelled B-I-S-O-U. Would that be Bissau?
Yeah.
Bissau Nail Salon plans to open soon at 188th and Oakmont Drive. That's just a block north of Highway 370. 3,300 square foot nail salon. It'll be the first tenant in a newly constructed retail strip immediately east of the world's largest Hy-Vee and amusement park. Interior finish on that nail salon is underway. So that population of the Highway 370 core with retail businesses continues to flourish.
I wonder if that Hy-Vee being so big, I wonder if mall walkers sometimes just go to Hy-Vee just to walk around.
Hy-Vee walkers, they say, I don't feel like driving all the way from Gretna to Westroads. We'll just walk the Hy-Vee.
Yeah.
You're probably right. Joann, the troubled fabric and craft retail chain, announced in early February that it would close 500 of its 800 stores, including Council Bluffs and Bellevue. They were going to spare the Omaha store at 132nd and Maple. Now there's no sparing of any store. All 800 stores nationwide going away. Yet another major national retailer that appears to be vanishing. They declared bankruptcy twice in less than a year. Based in Hudson, Ohio, near Dayton, Ohio.
I couldn't find a buyer, but I bet you they'll have like some kind of online presence, is my guess.
I guess, though. I have talked to several people since this Joann news has been coming out who are really into sewing or quilting or fabric hobbies or anything like that. And apparently, from what I hear, there's going to be a real void because there are not a lot of other retailers who provide that material. No pun intended.
There's no question that, it's going to hurt the fabric of that industry.
Let's see what you did there. And finally, we want to congratulate both our local D1 basketball teams here in Omaha on a great, great season. And as Trent mentioned at the beginning of the show, we have our new Grow Omaha sports section, as reported by Cole Young. On Thursday's news, Cole reported Both of these, first of all, UNO basketball head coach Chris Crutchfield was named the Summit League Coach of the Year this week, and that was after leading the Mavericks to an historic season. You may not know this, but they were picked second to last in the conference's preseason poll, and they won the regular season championship.
That's bad analysis.
Some bad prognosticating on the part of the basketball prognosticators.
Back to that bankruptcy for Joanne. When do you think the bankruptcy is going to be buttoned up?
Okay, so now back to regularly scheduled program. The other D1 basketball program in town is Creighton University. Coach Greg McDermott has now won 20 or more games for the 14th time in 15 years at Creighton. And the last time the Blue Jays failed to win 20 games was the 2014-15 season, right after Doug McDermott left to go to the NBA. So that's pretty impressive. So you're in a good town for watching a little round ball. And with that, we're going to take our final break of the hour. And when we come back, it will be your Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round. That's when we talk about a lot of things in a very short period of time. I'm looking at the list, and it's really long, so you don't want to miss any of it. Perkins Kreitzer Construction Lightning Round comes next. You're listening to Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid on Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and Cheer Athletics on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Wouldn't little round ball be baseball or golf? Or
Yeah, I said a little round ball.
A little round.
Watching a little
Basketball
round.
is a big word.
I'm saying like watching a little basketball.
Whoever
not
refers
watching
that. Hey, you want to go watch little round ball down at CHI tonight?
Sometimes people refer to basketball as round ball.
Not little round ball. A little. You said a little round.
A little
ball.
round, like watch a little basketball, watch a little football, watch a little baseball.
Classic, Jeff.
You're not watching a little ball.
We call it a Beals here.
Realism.
What are you doing this weekend?
We're celebrating Maddie's birthday.
Where?
Our house. We have the family coming over.
Welcome to. I'm taking teenagers to
Their parents know.
basketball game. Yeah. It's the only way I can do it anymore.
God, I hate when that happens.
But I can go into Victoria's Secret again.
Really? Allowed back?
When did the band wear off?
A few days ago. It's not my fault. Well, kind of. If you're walking through the mall and there's like a woman there,
Maybe you should stop while you're ahead.
and
Maybe you should stop
she
while
says,
you're ahead.
"Sir, all of our bras are half off." And I said, I prefer them all the way off.
Sir, you should have stopped while you were ahead.
No, I kind of agree with this, though.
Now we're gonna have like a protest mob
We're
outside.
gonna find out who's listening.
Now we're gonna have a protest mob outside.
This is why you watch Uncut. You get stuff like that. Little pearls of wisdom.
I don't think any guy is going to disagree with you.
Prefer them all the way off.
Yeah. Still feel bad about my friend Johnny Jones from Cub Scouts.
Good point.
We got bit by that snake.
Very, very.
All right, here we go.
Too bad for him. I didn't know the difference between anecdote and antidote. I keep telling him.
Here we go.
Sick man.
Hey, thanks. That means a lot to me, man.
2 to 6 on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
It's the lightning round brought to you by Perkins Kreitzer Construction. They are an outstanding Class A general contractor that does both projects large and small and everything in between. Perkins Kreitzer Construction has an outstanding team. They're based here in Omaha, but they work all over the region. You can go, up to Sioux City, out to North Platte, deep into Iowa. Perkins Kreitzer Construction does all of that sort of thing. And hey, here's a cool project that they're working on. They are just starting on a new Jersey Mike's location in downtown Lincoln, 16th and Q Street in Lincoln. Kind of in the design finish, and they'll open late summer. And a lot of times we talk about the restaurants that Perkins Kreitzer Construction does because it's the lightning round. And one of the things we love to talk about are restaurants and retail. Here in Omaha, I said earlier that Barnes & Noble under construction in Shadow Lake Town Center Papillion. Perkins Kreitzer Construction. You got Hawaiian Brothers coming soon to
Yep.
Miracle Hills. Can't wait for that. In the old Boston market, Perkins Kreitzer Construction. You can find out more about them simply by going to p-cconstruction.com, p-cconstruction.com. Well, let's get into it. Trenton, there's a lot of things on this list. Who likes ice cream? We all like ice cream. The second Betty Ray's ice cream shop is coming soon. It will be going to 595 North 155th Plaza. That is part of the Shops of Pepperwood. It's in kind of, there's a little second separate building.
Where Jimmy John's is.
Yeah, and Karma Coffee is over there. It's going to be in that building, and the space is just being renovated right now, but they're actually going to shoot to be open in April.
Was that the float space or something like that?
It might have, I think it was.
Hard to believe those didn't work out with those tanks.
Well, you got to give it a try. Anyway, the first Betty Ray's ice cream in Omaha is at 6307 Center, really close to Exarban Village, but they're originally out of Kansas City. Chubb Foods, located at 16th and Locust Street, has temporarily closed in order to be renovated and rebranded. It's going to reopen in the fall. It won't be called Chubb Foods. This is according to a news report by KETV, and it'll be a little bit more convenience store-like in that it'll have gas station pumps, but they told KETV that they would still carry most of the same grocery items, like I said, reopening this fall. Hate to see any sort of reduction of grocery available in the Northwest Quadrant because we're already a little short of grocery stores in that part of town, but it does sound like they will continue to have a pretty significant grocery component, even though they're going to become a little more convenience store oriented. Now, let's go out to Oakview Mall. Kid Lavie. Kid Lavie, spelled Kidlavie, is a family park and restaurant. It'll open soon, indoor park. It'll open soon, first Nebraska location at Oakview Mall. It's going to be in a 22,000 square foot space on the second level near the former Rush Market, which is a former Yonkers. It is designed for children ages 1 to 12. The park will feature shows, workshops, escape rooms, dining options, a spa, and even a patisserie. It was founded in 2022 overseas, I think Dubai, definitely not the United States. They only have 20 of these things in the entire world and only about 5 or 6 of them either open or under development in the United States. So Omaha's kind of on the front end. Of course, the big question is, Oakview Mall is struggling. How will it do there? Will it be okay there, or will it pull in some traffic and help Oakview Mall?
They better do a lot of social media advertising. That's all I can say.
And with that marketing advice, we go to De Leon's Taco Rico, which has signed a lease for the former Amigos Kings Classic space in Gretna. This is 11855 South 216th Street in Gretna, right along, the Highway 31, Highway 6 there. De Leon's will start renovating the 2,200 square foot space right away. They're going to open pretty fast this spring. Ed Pecci from NAI NP Dodge, our colleague, did that deal.
With the proliferation of all these Mexican restaurants popping up, and they got 4 or 5 main ingredients. They're just lucky that one of those ingredients isn't eggs. We'd be in a lot of trouble.
Truer words have never been spoken. Blue Sky Patio and Pickleball is bringing its food service in-house. We've reported lately that they ended their relationship with both Noli's and Cheeseburgers, 2 Omaha restaurants which had locations inside Blue Sky Pickleball. They're in Regency Landing. Now they're going to have their own food service, and they're going to offer several menu items from the former sister business of theirs, the Blackstone Meatball. So if you were a fan of the Blackstone Meatballs, some of those meatballs are coming back into the pickleball place. We have an update about Poke Boba House. This is an old market restaurant that had a real loyal following, but they closed on February 28th. They were at 510 South 13th Street. We got a lot of people saying to Omaha that they were quite disappointed about that. Well, good news. The restaurant is relocating to 83rd and Maple, tentatively set to open in 2 months. And the new location will feature an expanded menu, also now with teriyaki and ramen specialties on the menu, not just the Poke Boba stuff on the
Sounds
menu.
good.
Qdoba plans to open in the former Oklahoma Joe's barbecue space, at 1405 South 204th Street. That's just a little bit southeast of 204th and Pacific. Oklahoma Joe's closed that restaurant on December 31st. They do continue to have an Oklahoma Joe's in Exarban Village. We don't know the estimated opening date. When we checked earlier this week, interior renovations hadn't even started yet, so it'll be a little while. Qdoba has 10 existing Omaha locations. Council Bluffs only Runza has been torn down, temporarily closed for a full, complete rebuild, similar to what they did at 72nd and Pacific in Omaha, and it is expected to reopen in August. Brand new building.
That's probably easier than just replacing the cooking oil.
Go Glow will open its first Nebraska location on March 26th at 144th and Maple area next to Massage Envy. This is an airbrush tanning salon specializing in plant-based, vegan-friendly spray tans. I know I only want vegan-friendly tans. And with that, the music is playing, which means we are finito. Hope everyone has a great week. Don't worry, we'll be back with you. But in the meantime, I'm Jeff Beals.
And I'm Trenton Magid.
You've been listening to Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center, Cheer Athletics, and Perkins Kreitzer Construction. We'll chat with you next week at 9 right here on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Guys, could you say that on next week?
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.